It's been raining for 40 days and 40 nights. Well, that's what it seems like to me anyway. But I guess April showers bring May flowers, right? Isn't that the truth? I have these pretty yellow flowers popping up all over my yard. Dandelions. Ugh. I guess they're better than those stupid dardar. But now it's May, and at least for the next few days, the sun will be shining. And with May comes the annual National Day of Prayer here in the United States. I wrote about this last year, so I figured why not dust it off and freshen it up for this year. So here is my 2023 version of That Pesky Jesus. The last three commandments, the neighbor commandments. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house or your neighbor's wife or your neighbor's servant or ox or donkey or anything that belongs to your neighbor. As a Lutheran Sunday school kid, I always thought I had it made on these commandments. You see, I always took the word neighbor very literally, as in neighbors are the people that lived beside me and across the road from me. They didn't have servants or oxen or donkey. I wasn't old enough to be married. I was never inclined to tell lies about any of them. I had nothing to worry about on those last three commandments. But enter that pesky Jesus to destroy my understanding of who my neighbor is. Jesus revolutionizes the meaning of neighbor in what is arguably his most famous parable, the Good Samaritan. A lawyer testing Jesus says, "Who is my neighbor?" And of course, Jesus always responded with this parable, and at the end responds with a question of his own for this lawyer. Which of these three do you think was the neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of the robbers? The lawyer can say nothing other than the one who showed him mercy. And Jesus responds, "Go and do likewise." I have to give Sunday school age Sean a break here because I'm not sure we as adults in 2023 have a much broader understanding of neighbor than I did when I was in third grade. As adults in America, our neighbors are those that look like us, act like us, agree with us, vote with us. A new phrase has entered the American lexicon since I wrote this pondering last year. It is the culture war. There is no such thing as civil discourse in this culture war. No civil disagreement. Just shouting and screaming across the aisle or in the other's face. There are no neighbors. Just a right side and a wrong side. Last year I said, we have a choice, I think. Do we want to be a country of neighbors or do we want to be a country of factions that takes turns beating one another and leaving the other side left for dead alongside the road? But come to think of it and reading this now, I think that I was simply wrong last year. As Christians, there isn't a choice here, is there? Jesus doesn't give us an option. He gives us a command. Jesus says, "Go and do likewise." As in, go and bandage the wounds of the neighbor. The one who comes from a completely different culture. This man, too, is your neighbor. Just like last year, my prayer for us on this National Day of Prayer in 2023 is for a return to responsible and respectful discourse that allows neighbors of all creeds and affiliations and cultures to stand side by side to work for the safety, security, health, and peace of all in this country and throughout the world. Our Christian faith gives us the framework to lead this work. The risen Christ has freed us from the chains of sin and death to do this work, to join God's work here. Our God has called us to do this work, to stand beside our ecumenical Christian partners, to stand beside our Jewish partners, to stand beside our Muslim partners, our Sikh partners, our Hindu partners, to stand even with our partners that don't gather to pray this day because they don't believe in God. And still, this is our call as Christians. The call is to radically expand our understanding of who our neighbors are and to love these neighbors as we love ourselves and those that are like us. And to love these neighbors with compassion, mercy, and love. And now may the peace which surpasses all understanding guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. And may you enjoy the barking of my dogs and the commotion of my family downstairs. Peace.